Welcome students to this week's spelling video. We are going to be working with Sort 60, Prefix Assimilation. Wow, we need to talk about what assimilation means first, but let's make sure you have all of your needed equipment. Okay, so you should have your scissors with the rounded edges, your handy dandy glue stick, a sharpened pencil, of course your spelling notebook, and your words. We do these at school and at home. So if you are at school, you have this list right in front of you. And if you are at home and you do not have your list, you can pause the video and make your own word squares. So first of all, I want to talk to you, before we even get started in cutting these out, let's talk about prefix assimilation. Wow. What does that even mean? Assimilation means become similar in sound. So the prefix assimilation AD, it's one of the most common prefixes in our language, but it is often obscured or hidden by assimilation and takes many forms. So that means that it becomes similar in sound. So any double letters after the initial A are a good sign that the prefix AD is hidden there. All right, so let's go ahead, and we'll probably talk about that again. I'll probably say it again because this is a little bit hard to understand. But anyway, let's go ahead and start cutting out our words. Remember, you need to keep the title. Keep all of your exemplars together. Just cut them out in one straight line. And then finish cutting the other ones. You can stack them to make them easier after you cut them into columns. I'm going to pause the video and cut my words out and be right back. Okay, so here we go. So I have my Sort 60 title or label. All right, and then I have my exemplars. Even though this is just called assimilation or prefix assimilation AD, we have other ones. We have AP, AS, AT, and AC. You can easily sort these by the beginning letters. The prefix AD has not been covered specifically in other sorts, so you should read through the words to get a sense of what it might mean, okay? So go through your words. You really need to go through your words. So appreciate, attract, adjoining, additional, accommodate. We're going to be talking about this word. That's a hard one. Apprentice, attempt, appendage, adhesive, accelerate, assignment, appoint, addictive, accumulate, attribute, assertive, there's another one, approximate, advice, administer, accompany, attentive, oh, here's some more, associative, approach, advertise. All right, now let's get our notebook. Let's go ahead and get our handy dandy glue stick out and glue the title on to our page. Derivational, DV, Sort 60. All right, let's go ahead and write your date and your unit, your week, and again, even though it says right there, write Sort 60. Okay, so that we have that, so when we're looking at things we don't get confused, everything's right there. All right, let's go ahead and write down our exemplars. So we have AD, and remember the hyphen at the back of the word means this is the beginning of the word, so it's prefix. AP, AS, AT, and AC. All right, put this away to use with your different sorts. You can quickly cut these apart. Yeah, that's really quick. All right, so you need to use them in your blind sorts and your speed sorts, so don't lose those. All right, so we need to find the word advertise. Okay, so let's look at advertise. So AD also takes on different shades of meaning, but generally it suggests to or toward. So I'm going to write to or toward. Okay, AD. So advertise. In advertise, it literally means turn to. Okay, because you're advertising, so you're turning to this advertisement. In this sort, there's other forms, and there are also assimilated forms, and that's AP, AS, AT, and AC. And they've already been covered, but there's other ones, but we're not going to talk about those right now, so won't worry about that. But let's go ahead and put our advertise under AD. ADVERTISE. AD. There's our prefix. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, nice eraser. Advertise. ADVERTISE. Okay, and there's our prefix, add. All right, now we need to find accommodate. So look through your words really quick and find accommodate. Okay, this is a word that is so frequently misspelled, even by adults that are really good spellers. They usually leave out SC or an M. So we're going to walk through this and look at it just a little bit because accommodate contains two prefixes. It contains AC prefix and COM. Okay? And the root of that word is mod. So here's a prefix, and then here's the root word. That's why the double C's, the C is usually left out, and the M is usually left out. So this is a harder word to spell, so you need to do that. Just think about it. And accommodate means to make room for. So when you accommodate someone, you make room for them. But this is just a hard word. So remember when you're looking at that, it fits under AC, but it has two prefixes. So the first prefix, AC, the second prefix, COM, and then you have the root word, mod, and then ATE, which is a suffix. So that's a hard word, accommodate, accommodate. So, like I said, even adults spell it wrong, but that doesn't give us an excuse to say, oh, well, even really smart adults or really good spellers spell it wrong. No, you can learn how to spell it and be able to spell it correctly. All right, so that's good. So let's just find some other words we can put up there. Approach, APPROACH. So you have the prefix AP. So AP, there's your prefix, and then proach. That's why there's double P's, approach. And when I said it was assimilated, it doesn't sound like it's there, approach. So we don't say approach, we say approach. So one of them is basically silent or hidden. That's why it's called assimilated. Okay? All right, let's find another word. Associative. Oh, sorry, associate. We have associative, but associate. All right, so the first AS is the prefix, and then you have associate. Associate. S-O-C-I-A-T-E. Associate. So that's another one. All of these, that's what the assimilation means. You don't hear both S's. Excuse me. All right, I've left little room on my notebook. All right, so here we have our next word, attentive. Attentive. We hear the attentive. We do not hear attentive. We don't say that. We say attentive. So AT is your prefix, so underline that, and then tentive. Okay, so we don't hear those. That's what assimilation means. I know I've said that like every word, but I'm just trying to get that into your head. All right, but there's also word endings, and if you look at those, they can be both verb and adjective depending on how the suffix is pronounced. But so the ending on this one is IVE, we have, let me think what words we have in here. We have appreciate, so ATE. We have accumulate, ATE. Associate, ATE, sorry. Associate. And accelerate, ATE. So look for those ATEs, and again, those are the suffix. So we have prefixes and suffixes, but we're actually talking about the prefix assimilation, which makes that first part sound different. It's basically hidden. It's obscured is the word that they use on this, but you need to really pay attention to that so you spell these words correctly. Okay, so really think about what I have talked about. Try and get that in your head and think about the assimilation, the words, the sounds that they become hidden, they're similar. All right? Finish writing all of your words down. Think about them. If you have any questions, please come back and ask your teacher. Really listen to the lesson so that you can understand what I'm trying to get across. All right, good luck. Have fun. Bye.